Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about opportunistic networks. Talking about myself Prakhar Rathwar. I am from IIPS DAV and I'm pursuing my 10th semester in MTech, in Information Technology. So let me move the video. Okay. So start talking about opportunistic networks. Let's first start talking about what is network. A network is basically a collection of devices or nodes which can share data. A connection can be made using wires or wirelessly by using techniques such as Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, etc. So this is what we talk about networks. Now coming to the mobile ad-hoc networks. So definition of first definition of mobile ad-hoc networks. Mobile ad hoc networks, generally termed as MANET, is generally defined as a network that has many free or autonomous nodes, often composed of mobile devices or other mobile pieces that can arrange themselves in various ways and operate without strict top-down network administration. These are the on screen. These are the various characteristics of mobile ad hoc networks. So the mobile ad hoc network is spontaneous or impromptu connections. So talking about it, in generally what happens in a wide network, that is a normal network, is if devices needs to send message to another device, first it start with trying to find destination subnet, and if it cannot find it, it would send message to the required gateway, and there are routing tables in required router. So based on the routing table, it would then decide where to send the message next. But in mobile ad hoc network, it is different. What happens here is that there is no centralized outer source switches, and so basically there are nodes which are mobile and they cannot connect with each other when they are not in range. And without any router, the traffic is propagated. So the connections here are impromptu or spontaneous. The second characteristics is the network is decentralized here. So basically, the nodes are forming the peer-to-peer connection. So it is not centralized. Hence, this. Another is multi-hop routing. The nodes here are autonomous nodes. That means the nodes are that means they can be used as intermittent or end nodes, both. And last one is dynamically changing topology. So the topology in it is not fixed, and the nodes are because the nodes are moving, the topology changes accordingly. Now, coming to the advantages of mobile ad hoc networks, the expensive equipment is not necessary. Talking about it, all the hardware infrastructure, that is wires, routers, switches, which are normally required in a normal network, are not that much required here. So it saves the cost. No single point of failure. Like if in normal networks, if router or subnet fails, we cannot connect to the outside network. So there is no such a mechanism here. The if a node fails, there is a redundant connection between all the nodes, and the connection takes place through them. Also, in a kind of disaster, this network is easily deployable and upgradable. Uh, so it is fault tolerant. No need for existing infrastructure to sustain the network. Requires less human and intervention, and this network is easy to configure rapidly and rapidly deployable. Coming to the disadvantages of mobile ad hoc networks, the connection is less secure. In normal networks, there is a security mechanism like firewalls and other, which is not present in this kind of networks. Second is bandwidth constraints. Normal networks use wired infrastructure, which provides them a great bandwidth to operate. And here the nodes are mobile, so the bandwidth is limited. So there is a constant in this network. There are also energy constraint, and it requires it possesses high latency. Some application of mobile ad hoc networks. The mobile ad hoc networks are used in military communications. It is used in sensor network, in emergency networks like disaster recovery, earthquake, crowd control, etc. Virtual classes and conference rooms, and robotics. Now coming to the our topic, opportunistic networks, an extension of mobile ad hoc networks. So opportunistic networks provides an intermittent connectivity among mobile nodes. It provides mobility, partition, and disconnections. No predetermined path. Exploits opportunities at every hop to deliver messages, store, carry, and forward. The message that comes at each node is first buffered, and then the decision to transfer message to forward message to another node is taken at that particular node. Up till then, the message is buffered there, and if the message transfer is successful, then only the message gets deleted. And the last one is delay tolerance. So a little about our basic network. A network has nodes that are interconnected to each other. Like we can see in this diagram, these nodes are actually static. Communication path is usually predetermined, as in the network layer of the OSI model. That means the before the transfer of packets messages takes place, the topology, the connection to the transfer of message that needs to be taken place between the two different nodes, the connection is predetermined. That is the connection to be that is the part to be taken to deliver the message is predetermined in this kind of networks. But in an opnet, that is, however, in an opportunistic networks, nodes are mobile or fixed. Mostly the nodes are mobile in it. Communication possible even if no connecting routes exist between nodes. That means if unlike the normal network, if there is no predetermined paths, then also the connection can take place between two nodes. Routes are built dynamically. That is, communication path is not predetermined, as we have seen. For the next hop, a node would be opportunistically chosen only if it would bring the message closer to the final destination. How OpNet works. Each node receiving a message exploits local knowledge to decide which is the best next hop among its current neighbors for the message to reach the eventual packet destination. When no forwarding opportunity exists, the node stores the message and waits for future contact opportunities with other devices to forward the information. An example is delay tolerant network. Hope it's clear. Now routing in opportunistic networks. So the routing. So this is the classification of routing that takes place in opportunistic networks. It's of two types: forwarding based and flooding based. So first, talking about forwarding based routing, the first that we have is direct transmission. So for the routing protocol, direct transmission. In it, no intermediate node is used. The characteristics of direct transmission routing protocol. In it, no intermediate node is used. It possesses minimum bandwidth. It causes high delay, and it has low delivery ratio. Now, talking about flooding based routing networks, we are talking about epidemic routing protocol. In it, each message has a unique ID for nodes to track pending messages. When two nodes come in to range, they compare the list of IDs and exchange messages. All the messages spread through the network like an epidemic. It possesses high bandwidth and capacity demand. It has a high delivery ratio. So this was about epidemic routing protocol that is mainly used in opportunistic network. Now some application of opportunistic network. It is used in wildlife monitoring, ZebraNet and shared wireless info station model, rural area network, darknet and SAMI network connectivity. So darknet was used in India to provide connectivity to the rural areas. So what happened in this was the nodes, the intermediate nodes were mounted on moving vehicles or moving on some portable devices, and the connection takes place through them. It is used in crisis management, mobile data offloading, recommender systems, and opportunistic computing. That's all about opportunistic mobile network. Thank you.